The moment your paycheck hits your bank account, you have exactly 15 seconds before your brain starts making terrible financial decisions. I'm not kidding. 15 seconds is all it takes for your financial survival instincts to be hijacked by a dopamine-chasing consumer. Today, I'm going to show you the bulletproof payday routine that will stop the leak and put you ahead of 90% of people financially without you working a single extra hour. You know the feeling. You've worked hard all month, you see that balance jump, and for a fleeting moment you feel rich. But by Tuesday, that rich feeling is replaced by a knot in your stomach as you wonder where the hell $400 went on miscellaneous expenses. Most people are financial sleepwalkers. They aren't bad people, they're just victims of mental accounting. This is the psychological trap where we treat extra money, like a tax refund or a small bonus, as monopoly money rather than real income. Take Sarah, a marketing manager earning $70K. She felt like she was drowning because every payday was a defense game. She'd pay her rent, buy a congratulatory dinner, and then spend the next 3 weeks praying no one invited her out for drinks because she couldn't afford a $10 cocktail. The cycle only breaks when you move from playing defense to playing offense using my 3-phase framework: map, allocate, and automate. This routine isn't about deprivation. It's about recognizing that every dollar of debt is a piece of your future that someone else owns. You deserve to own 100% of your time, but right now, your payday habits are keeping you in a race that is both fixed and futile. If you're ready to stop being a high-earning, broke person and start building a life you don't need a vacation from, we need to find your financial baseline.
But first, do you actually know the deadly number that determines if you'll ever be able to retire? If I asked you right now to tell me exactly how much it costs to keep you alive for 30 days, could you do it without checking an app? Most people can't, and that's because they're missing the financial baseline, the one number that dictates whether you're building wealth or just spinning your wheels. In this section, I'm going to show you how to find your deadly number and use it to reclaim hours of your life every single week. We've all been there. You look at your bank balance and see $2,000, but you have no idea if that's spending money or "I'm about to be evicted" money. This uncertainty creates a low-level background radiation of stress that ruins your sleep and makes every purchase feel like a gamble. The psychology here is cognitive leakage. When you don't have a clear map, your brain treats every dollar as a separate, confusing problem to solve. This leads to decision fatigue, where you eventually just give up and buy the $15 sandwich because your brain is too tired to calculate if it fits the budget. Think back to James, a guy earning 6 figures who still felt broke every month because his lifestyle creep had no ceiling. James didn't have a spending problem. He had a mapping problem. He was treating his income like a pool of water rather than a series of pipes. To fix this, we use the baseline blueprint. First, you list your core 4: rent, utilities, groceries, and transport. Second, you calculate your real hourly wage by subtracting the time and money you spend just preparing for work, like commuting and dry cleaning.
Finally, you compare your baseline to your take-home pay. If it's over 60%, you aren't living. You're just subsidizing your own survival. When you nail this number, the stress vanishes because you finally know exactly what your life energy is worth. You stop being a servant to your bills and start being the architect of your independence. But knowing the number is only half the battle. Next, I'm going to show you the payday hierarchy, the exact 6-step sequence for your money that turns a standard paycheck into a wealth-building machine. Most people treat their paycheck like a buffet. They grab whatever looks good first and end up with a plate full of regret and no room for the stuff that actually matters. But what if I told you there is a mathematical order of operations for your money? By the end of this section, you'll have a 6-step sequence that guarantees you never accidentally spend your rent money or miss out on $1 million investment opportunity again. We've all felt that payday paralysis. You want to save, you need to pay the credit card, and you really want to buy those concert tickets. Without a hierarchy, you suffer from priority blur, where your brain treats a $15 Netflix sub with the same urgency as a $500 debt payment. This is the endowment effect in reverse. We overvalue the small joys right in front of us because we lack a clear ranking of our future needs. Think about Marcus, who was diligently saving $200 a month into a 0.5% interest savings account while carrying $5,000 on a credit card at 24% interest.
He was essentially trying to swim upstream in a hurricane because he was doing the right things in the wrong order. Here is the bulletproof hierarchy. Step 1. The baseline. Clear your core 4 expenses first to secure your survival. Step 2. The peace of mind buffer. Save exactly 1 month of expenses in a separate, boring account to kill the anxiety. Step 3. Toxic debt. Anything with an interest rate over 7% is a fire in your house. Put it out immediately. Step 4. The free money. Max out your employer's pension match. It is a 100% instant return on your investment. Step 5. The fortress. Build that 6-month emergency fund so no boss or bad luck can ever break you. Step 6. Tax-free growth. Pump everything else into an ISA or Roth IRA to let compound interest work its magic. Following this sequence isn't just about math, it's about building a psychological armor that makes you unshakable. You aren't just managing money, you are buying back your future one tier at a time. But let's be real. Even with the best list, human willpower is a finite resource that fails exactly when you're tired or stressed. That's why next, we're going to kill the need for willpower entirely by turning your bank account into a self-driving Tesla. Most people believe that building wealth requires an iron will, but the truth is, willpower is for losers. In this section, I'm going to show you how to build a financial ghost, a system that moves your money, pays your bills, and builds your wealth while you're asleep, so you never have to make a hard money decision again. We've all made that midnight promise to start saving more, only to find ourselves at a Friday night dinner 3 days later, convincing ourselves we'll start next month. Relying on your brain to remember to transfer $200 into savings every month is like relying on a sieve to hold water. The psychology here is decision fatigue. Your brain has a limited battery for making good choices, and by the time you've finished a 9 to 5, that battery is at 0. When your System 2 brain, the slow, logical part, gets tired, your System 1 brain, the impulsive, hungry part, takes the wheel and buys things you don't need. Take Sarah, who spent years trying to save. She'd manually move money on payday only to move it back to her checking account 3 days later because she forgot about a bill. She wasn't disciplined, she just had a system that required her to be a hero every single month. The Automation Autopilot framework fixes this. Step 1. Direct deposit. Ensure your entire paycheck lands in one central checking account automatically.
Step 2. The split. Set up automatic transfers for the day after payday to move money into your fixed costs account and your savings bucket. Step 3. Bill pay. Set every single recurring bill, rent, phone, gym, to auto-pay so you never pay a late fee again. Step 4. The investment pump. Link your savings to your investment account so the excess life energy is automatically put to work. Once this is set, you stop being a manager of money and start being a recipient of wealth. You get to spend your mental energy on your career, your family, or your hobbies, knowing that your future is being built on a foundation of code rather than luck. You aren't just saving money, you are saving your soul from the constant grinding anxiety of the manual life. But there is one final trap. Even with automation, if your stuff keeps growing as fast as your income, you'll still end up with a net worth of 0. Next, I'm going to show you the minimalist money rules that ensure your lifestyle never swallows your freedom. Imagine 2 neighbors. One earns 100K but is 2 weeks away from bankruptcy, while the other earns 50K and hasn't felt financial stress in a decade. The difference isn't their salary, it's that one of them is being owned by their possessions. In this section, I'm giving you the minimalist money rules that will stop your lifestyle from swallowing your freedom, no matter how much you earn. We've all felt that new purchase high, the rush of buying a new gadget or outfit, followed by the crushing realization 3 weeks later that it's just another piece of clutter. You're working 40 hours a week to pay for a car that sits in a driveway while you're at work and a house that stays empty while you're out earning the mortgage. This is the hedonic treadmill. Your brain is hardwired to seek more, but once you get it, your baseline of happiness resets and you start sprinting for the next thing. Psychologically, we fall for Diderot's ghost, where buying one new thing, like a rug, makes your old sofa look bad, forcing you into an endless upgrade. Look at David, a high earner who lived in a storage unit with a bed because his closets were overflowing with tags-on clothes he never wore. He was rich on Instagram, but in reality, he was a slave to the storage fees and the maintenance of a life he didn't even have time to enjoy. To break this, we use the minimalist filter. Rule 1, the 24-hour cooling period. Never buy a non-essential item the moment you see it. Wait 1 full day for the dopamine to clear. Rule 2, the space for stuff exchange. If you buy something new, something old must leave the house. You are a curator, not a collector. Rule 3, the contentment threshold. Identify the point where more stops adding value and start redirecting that excess cash into life energy instead. Minimalism isn't about living in a white box with one chair. It's about realizing that every dollar you don't spend on junk is a dollar that buys you a day of retirement.
When you stop trying to impress people who aren't even looking at you, you finally find the resources to build a life that you actually love. You aren't depriving yourself, you are unsubscribing from a race that was designed to make you lose. But what do you do with all that extra life energy once the system is running? In the final section, I'll show you how to spend your money extravagantly on the things that actually matter so you can live your rich life today. What is the point of being the richest person in the graveyard if you spent your entire life too afraid to buy a latte? Most financial advice stops at save more, but today I'm going to show you how to actually spend your money to buy back your happiness without a single ounce of guilt. We've all been there. You finally hit your savings goal, but then you feel a physical pang of anxiety the moment you have to actually spend that money on yourself. You've spent so long playing defense that you've forgotten what it feels like to enjoy the rich life you've worked so hard to build. This is the scarcity trap. Your brain gets stuck in accumulation mode, and you start treating your bank balance like a high score in a video game rather than a tool for living. Psychologically, this is loss aversion gone wrong. We become more terrified of the number going down than we are excited about the experiences that money can buy. Think of Elena, who lived on beans and rice for 5 years to save 100K, but when her best friend invited her to a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Italy, she said no because it wasn't in the plan. She had the money, but she didn't have the permission. She was a prisoner of her own discipline. To fix this, we used the conscious spending framework. Step 1, define your rich life. Is it travel, high-end tech, or just being able to buy the expensive appetizers? Step 2, cut mercilessly. Identify the things you don't care about. Maybe it's car upgrades or designer labels, and slash that spending to 0. Step 3, spend extravagantly. Take the money you saved from the junk and pump it into the things that actually make your heart race. Step 4, the guilt-free buffer. Set aside 10% of every paycheck specifically for fun that is required to be spent by the end of the month. Remember, true wealth isn't just about the digits in your ISA, it's about the life energy you have available to spend on the people and passions you love. You are the CEO of your life, and your money is simply the staff that makes your vision a reality. Don't wait until you're 65 to start living. The here and now is the only thing you actually own. Now that you have the routine, the automation, and the mindset, there is only one question left. What are you going to do with your first rich life payday? Because the system is ready, but are you brave enough to actually turn it on?